hearty welcome to our Honorable Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, our respected Chief Guest, our Dean of Faculties, Dean Research Ma'am, respected Dean Students, Associate Dean Research, Associate Dean of Students, Deans and Principals, all eminent dignitaries, invited guests, Srihar Science Day Working Group members, the coordinators and dear students. It is indeed our pleasure and delighted to have each one of you amongst us for the valedictory function of our first ever organized Srihar Science Week celebration on the event of National Science Day. Hope you all would have experienced a scientific tour with gamut of creative ideas and synergy of talents that rolled this week at our campus. The active participation of students from different constituent faculty of Srihar affirms the relevance and meaningfulness of this celebration. Time spent in prayer refreshes and strengthens. Before we further advance into the day, let's invoke and glorify the supreme power, followed by Ramachandra anthem.
Mala Sudha Kumbha Vibodha Mudra Vidya Virajita Karavarijata Vidya Virajita Karavarijata Apar Karunya Sudamburayi Shri Sharadamba Pranatosmi Nityam Shri Sharadamba Pranatosmi Nityam.
செந்தமிழை போல என்றென்று வாழும் ஸ்ரீ ராமச்சந்திரா உன்னை வணங்கி பாடுகின்றோம். நாங்கள் கற்ற கல்வி பெற்ற பெருமை எங்களுடைய தந்தது. தொடரும் சொந்த நிலைதான் ராமச்சந்திரா சொன்னது. அன்னை தந்தை போலே எண்ணம் எல்லாம் நின்றது. அன்பன் சுற்றமெல்லாம் வாழ்கின்றோம் வழங்குகின்றோம் கூறுகின்றோம் பாடுகின்றோம் செய்தோம் சேவை செய்தோம் செய்வோம் சேவை செய்வோம்.
Adding auspicious twilight of a spiritual glow to the program, I kindly request our chief guest to light the Kuttu Velakku.
Sargamaya Namasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Gamaya
Om Shanti Shanti.
I now request our respected Associate Dean of Research, Dr. Venkatachalam sir, to deliver the welcome address.
A very good afternoon to one and all who are present here. On behalf of the organizing committee of Srihar for the National Science Day Celebration Week. I extend a warm welcome to our head of the family and our most respected Chancellor, Sri V.R. Venkatachalam, sir. Welcome, sir. We also extend our warm welcome to the chief guest for the day, Dr. Manoj Muregar, Director, National Institute of Epidemiology, ICMR, Chennai. We extend a warm welcome to you, sir. This organizing committee also extend a warm welcome to our Vice Chancellor, Professor P.V. Vijayaraghavan, sir. Welcome, sir. Also, we extend a warm welcome to the Dean of Faculties, Dr. Makesh Vakamudi, Professor of Eminence and Advisor, Dr. K.V. Somasundaram, Dean, Students, Dr. Balaji Singh, Registrar, Special Officer, Academic Officer, Chief Finance Officer, Dr. Shankar Narayanan, our Advisor, Strategic Planning to our Srigar, Professor Ganesan, Chief of Cancer Biology, newly established Cancer Biology Laboratory of our institution, and also extend a warm welcome to our Deans, Associate Deans, Head of the Departments, Principals, and Core Chairperson, Unit Chairman, that is a Unit Chief of different units in the Srigar Medical Center as well as an university. This also we extend a warm welcome to the coordinators from the Research Promotion Committee, also the core working group member who was extended wholehearted support for the whole week. Without their support, I don't think this event is possible. Initially, as with the directions of our Chancellor, we requested him to have it on a day. He advised us to go for a week-long celebration. So it gave an opportunity to have a showcase of different kinds of research activities going across the university. First day, we had a undergraduate Chancellor Fellowship Awardees. So without those support, that is the student has enthusiastically participated in the whole thing in the 5 days program. Also, it was, first day it was a student, followed by the different categories of awardees across the universities. They made the time and effort. We are once again, on behalf of the organizing committee, we extend a warm welcome to one and all who are enthusiastically participated in this thing. So again, finally, the students, faculty, members of Sri Ramachandra family, once again, I extend a warm welcome to each one of you for the valedictory functions of National Science Day Celebration Week of Srigar.
Thank you, sir. I hope Srigar Science Week celebration has added a few memories, and now it's time to unveil the video of the week-long scientific presentation. Thank you. Moving on to the National Science Day celebration highlights, I invite the coordinators to present the day highlights. May I now request Dr. Vignesh Sir, Assistant Dean of Students from Faculty of Dental Sciences, Srihar, to detail us on the presentations of undergraduate founder chancellor and other fellowship awardees.
Most Honorable Chancellor, Sir, respected Chief Guest, Director, National Institute of Epidemiology, ICMR, respected Vice Chancellor, Sir, respected Dean of Faculty, Sir, respected Dean Research Madam, Professor of Eminence, Sir, respected Dean students, other dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, and most importantly, my beloved budding C.V. Ramans. Thanks to Chancellor, Sir, we had a fantastic 1 week of entertainment filled with complete education. On behalf of the Dean of Students and his office, I'm here to present the first day report. For the last 2 years, we had 67 undergraduate publications from 107 all undergraduates. This was only for the last 2 years, and Dean Research Madam and Chancellor Sir, we are proud to show that it's been displayed outside in the lobby here, and it's really a proud moment for that. Thanks to the generosity of the Chancellor, also 127 Founder Chancellor Summer Research UG students, they presented their research proposals, and it was presented to every member of the Sri Ramachandra faculty. So it was kind of an interdisciplinary effort. So one discipline research was also noted by the other disciplines, and this we hope will lead to not only more interdisciplinary research, which is happening upon the higher levels of postgraduates, but also among undergraduates, and this interdisciplinary we hope will lead to translational research even from the undergraduates. May I take the liberty of having a 30-second more candid video of the undergraduate student presentations. Thank you. We also, more importantly, took a feedback from the students. 121 out of the 127 students who participated gave us a feedback. This will help us to improve, and we hope to do this every year. We got a 5-star rating for all activities. Because of a lack of tech knowledge, the students asked us a lot about Mac and Android compatibility. We couldn't answer them. They asked us a lot about HDMI and VGI and CGI graphics, whether the monitors are compatible. We accept our ignorance. We'll do better. Sorry, students, we couldn't answer your tech-heavy questions. But thank you for giving us a 5-star for all other parameters. So the learning objectives, we had a single platform for all the faculties, 12 faculties of Sri Ramachandra to interact. And this was definitely the highlight of the events. We hope to have, like I said, translational research. And my last statement in Tamil, if you permit, muscle, ligament, insertion, origin, nerve supply, blood supply, MBBS student, he knew this, how to measure the strength of the muscle. And this, I think, will lead to translational research. Thanks on behalf of all the students to Chancellor, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Mary Elizabeth Ma'am from Faculty of Biomedical Sciences, Srihar, to detail us on the presentation of PhD Founder Chancellor Fellowship and other fellowship awardees.
A very good morning. I'm here on behalf of my team to present what has happened on day 2 with respect to PhD students' presentation. I would like you to take a look at a few photographs clicked on that day. The PhD students who have received the University Founder Chancellor Fellowship in the last 5 years were asked to present their work, indicating the outcomes and the future scope of their research. A few of the students who have secured ICMR grants and CSIR SRFships and project fellows who were supported by extramural grants also presented. A total of 62 presentations were scheduled as 2 batches from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 1 to 3 p.m. of 31 students per batch. The presentations were made in diverse areas of research, from nutritional requirements in children, marine environmental pollution, understanding molecular mechanisms in cancer cell progression, microRNAs in the identification of a specific disease, school-based intervention in the prevention of malaria and dengue, transplacental genotoxicity-related evaluation, morphometric analysis of spine, listening effort in speech-degraded conditions, effectiveness of oral exercises, oculostructural and functional integrities, parvovirus B19, molecular derangements associated with endometriosis, to name a few. And I've just put a graph indicating the students' presentation across various faculties of the university, a total of 62 presentations, of which 12 were from the faculty of the medicine, 6 from that of dentistry, 4 from the faculty of nursing, 7 from the faculty of pharmacy, and from the faculty of allied health sciences, it was 11. From the faculty of biomedical sciences and technology, it was 16. From the faculty of public health, it was 3, and 1 from the faculty of physiotherapy. This particular day was teamed up by myself from the Department of Biotechnology, Faculty of Biomedical Sciences and Technology, Dr. Sita Lakshmi from the Faculty of Nursing, Dr. Meena Iyer from the Central Research Facility, Dr. V. Kritika from the Faculty of Management Sciences. The students were enthralled to present their research findings and getting motivated and recognized by the senior officials and senior researchers of the university. And they came and mentioned to us that it did not only give a platform to express their research ideas, but also they got to know what other PhD scholars are doing in the university. And they sincerely and honestly, sir, came to us and asked for more such programs of this kind in the future. I thank the Chancellor, sir, VC, sir, Dean Research, madam, and Associate Dean of Research, Venkatachalam, sir, for this effort. And I thank every one of you for having supported and guided us in this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. I request Dr. Sridevi, ma'am, Professor from Faculty of Dental Sciences, to update us on GATE Faculty Awardees and ICMR Awardees.
Very good morning to respected dignitaries on and off the stage. On behalf of my team, Dr. Rajeshwari, Dr. Ms. Punmadi, and Srihari, I would like to present the report of the GATE Faculty Awardees. 35 young researchers who received the GATE Faculty Research Awards presented their work on day 3, representing a wide spectrum of research from various faculties of Srihari University. Many of the awardees were extremely happy to have a chance to showcase their work, but it also gave an opportunity for them to evaluate and introspect their progress as compared to their peers. Many of their projects had led to expected outcomes, such as dissemination via presentations, publications. It had led to some patents, and in some cases, it had even led to the topic being developed for a PhD thesis. In some cases, the project, especially clinical research, had been delayed due to COVID and other reasons. We felt very strongly that this interaction opened up opportunities for collaborations between disciplines with many areas of common interest that were identified. Many of the awardees in their feedback told us that they would appreciate a little more support and handholding for getting extramural funding, although they were extremely grateful to the respected chancellor and the university for the support that they get for their research. It was very strongly felt that the interactions and the feedback from various people who visited this event were of immense value, and some have expressed that an interim review in events like this or by a focused peer review group would give better direction to their research rather than just submitting a report at the end of their research. I think I speak for all my fellow coordinators and the GATE awardees that we were all very, very happy to be part of this enriching and enlightening experience. We thank our beloved Chancellor, our respected Vice Chancellor, our Dean of Faculties, and last but not the least, our inspirational Dean Research for involving all of us in the science that reverberated in these hallowed halls over the last 1 week. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I now request Dr. Batma Srikanth, ma'am, Professor from Faculty of Medicine, to highlight on MD PhD awardees.
A very good afternoon to the dignitaries on the dais, and really truly honored to be present here to present on behalf of the MD PhD, who actually were extremely thrilled to be present that day. In fact, I would just like to share a bit of history behind this program. It's a unique program at Srihar, and we are indeed very privileged to have this, as we are the only institution, only university in the whole country to have such an MD PhD program. And I would like to place on record our immense gratitude to the former Dean, Professor S.P. Tyagarajan, for enabling this. As a guide to some of the MD PhD candidates, I would say this was a pivotal change that made a lot of our research reach a very high standard, which is witnessed by the recent publications that Madam is aware. I am also taking the liberty of sharing WhatsApp messages that I got regarding this, and the first of these is actually a summary of what all of them felt. I feel privileged and honored to present my research work on Srihar Science Day. The questions raised by the faculties during the presentation served as a stimulant for me to proceed with my study further and explore the unexplored areas. The words of appreciation from the Dean Research Madam made my day. The session was organized well, and of course there are thanks to the guide, and also a little bit of further steps that could be done, like dedicated time. They would like the contingency funds to be carried over. They would like time for specimen collection and so on. And they would also like probably better promotion avenues, because that's the new NMC recommendation, that they be given assistant professor immediately after they finish their PhD, since it's been a long haul. I would also like to thank all the other coordinators. This is a summary of all that they have said. In fact, some of them could not make it, but shared their presentation, and this was actually presented by some of them. And in fact, Madam Dean, I'm really, really happy that you took time out and went to each of the presentation and actually shared your views. This was definitely a highlight, because Madam's expertise is very well known, and I think this really helped them to hone their skills better. I'd also like to thank Kalpana ma'am in this regard, our management for having stood with us, and also Sri Hari and the other coordinators that helped to put together these MD PhDs, were a little fluid and tough to collect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Dr. Lakshmi Revati, ma'am, from Faculty of Biomedical Sciences, to detail us on extramural grant presentation.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. I extend my respect to all the dignitaries sitting on stage and the students, the faculty, and the dignitaries off stage, and all the core working committee members for Srihar. This 5 days has been exhilarating for all of us, and in a way, a unique opportunity for us to meet the rest of the research community in Ramachandra. So, without further ado, I'm going to just pass on more photos to show how our extramural fund awardees were doing. And as I'm passing through, I'll tell you how the day was for us. There were about 32 faculties who were presenting on the day 4. All of them had got funding from various funding agencies, both in India and outside, from companies. So there was a variety of funding, which we also came to know about. That's one thing. The other, we had principals, head of the departments, junior faculties who were presenting side by side. So that was inspirational and motivational in its own. And we had also multidisciplinary people standing side by side, facilitating for furthering our research. So you had material scientists, you had physicians, you had environmental scientists, you had molecular geneticists, molecular signaling person like myself, all of us in the same place to discuss how do you take things further. On a personal note itself, I could say, if that's for me, one of the 32, we had just there with the student, we decided what we'll do next. To just in the next 2 months, we can just decide something. So that kind of avenue to discuss and decide and proceed was made available for all of us, which was something that I think all 32 of us who presented, and my core committee, which is Dr. Rajesh, Dr. Vinod, Dr. Felsi, Dr. Thangavel, and all of us would agree wholeheartedly, gave us a fantastic platform to take forward what we envisioned when we entered Ramachandra. We also collected, so in totality, there was 32 faculty participants. There was a range of topics that were covered. We went from physiology, I'm going from the large scale to the smaller scale. So let's go. Population studies, to human physiology, to a tissue morphology, to a cellular level, to a molecular level. We had research covering almost all scales of it, to even to the nanoscale of making nanoscale structures for therapy, as well as for diagnosis. So that was the scale of presentations that were there on that day. We collected feedback. We finished only day before, but our faculties are very prompt in giving us feedback on what they felt about it. And I would summarize it just by reading out a few of them, which I've put up on the slide here. It was an excellent platform to showcase our work. It was more than an amazing experience. It filled with interactions, networking, and acquiring more knowledge. It gave a bird's eye view of the spectrum of research happening in the university. We look forward to more programs of this type in the future. We were able to showcase our research interest to the larger research community at Srihar, facilitating possibilities of new collaborations, interdisciplinary collaborations, expecting more such events to promote research among UG students, because they are the pillars of the future generations. And it is a roadway for interdepartmental collaboration. And at one stop, we were able to get a whiff of how diverse research happens at Srihar. So thanking you all for the opportunity. On behalf of the 32 and the organizing, the working committee, I thank one and all here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I now request Dr. Hardeep Ora, CEO of SRIAC Bairag Bionest Bio Incubator, to highlight on student and faculty entrepreneurs presentation.
Good day to all the dignitaries on and off stage. We've just heard about the first 4 days of the National Science Day celebrations that happened during the week. A lot, or rather most of it, focused on academic research that is part and parcel of our daily lives. But on day 5, we had presentations from students and faculty members who are interested in something more than their academic research in the time that they are spending at Srihar. So whether they are working on ideas that are related to and can be extended from their academic work, or also something out of their own interest and can be developed for a translational applications. We had extended the invitation to a lot of students and faculty members who applied through the hackathon, but unfortunately, due to various examinations that are currently being planned, few of them could not attend. We still had a decent attendance of about 17 presentations from different members. I will be presenting some few of the points, highlights from this meeting. So this, as I said, presentations were from both the faculty members and students, and overwhelmingly they were from the students, which is an even more encouraging thing to see, because these students can eventually go on to become entrepreneurs in the healthcare industry within the country. There were also presentations from ideas that are working from academic work being extended to a translational potential. So the work will eventually become a part of legacy that is being conducted at Srihar eventually. We had invited the IP consultant, Dr. Deepa Bopanna, who came here to see and to see all the presentations from the entrepreneurs and gave her suggestions about what aspects of their work are potentially patentable, and this will also help and encourage these faculties and students to further their work in this direction. Also, Dr. Roy Santosham, I would like to thank. He's currently heading the Entrepreneurship Development Cell at Srihar in the SRIIC. And he also interacted with all these members and encouraged them to go into the incubation center, the SRIIC, where they can be supported extramurally for their work, so in terms of grants or mentorship. So I'm leaving you with some of the images from the presentations. And the winners of the hackathon that were announced earlier, that was announced the week before, also presented their work. And I would say the feedback that we have received from the members who saw all this work was also very encouraging to see the extramural work and the extension of research that the faculties and students are doing. And we hope that this day, even though the numbers were small, it will be an encouragement to other people in the India Institute to take up this kind of work and present their work in the near future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Kalpana Balakrishnan ma'am, Dean Research, to introduce our chief guest.
Most Honorable Chancellor and Vice Chancellor and all the distinguished members of the audience, it is my proud privilege to welcome and introduce long-time colleague and friend and collaborator and some from an institution that all of us in the healthcare research look up to, the Indian Council for Medical Research, Dr. Manoj V. Murekar. He is the director of the National Institute of Epidemiology, ICMR, here in Chennai. Those of us who tuned on the TV anytime during the last 2 years saw NIE all the time with such a tough job that our institution holds, sir, in terms of defending all the very difficult modeling trajectories for COVID. But that was, models can predict anything, but actual being part of the task force, of COVID, that's how every one of us, came to know about the value of epidemiology. And Dr. Manoj represents this institution of ICMR at the heart of it. He obtained his MBBS and MD in community medicine from Government Medical College, Nagpur, Maharashtra, and he is currently the director of NIE, as I mentioned, a permanent institute of the Indian Council of Medical Research. His research interests include infectious disease epidemiology, vaccine preventable diseases, and disease surveillance and outbreak investigations. He is also the course director for their flagship epidemiology training program, the Field Epidemiology Training Program, FETP, that was initiated with collaboration with CDC, and it has serves as the role model for field epidemiological surveillance training throughout the country. All of us have looked up to his institution for organization of this program. Prior to joining NIE, Dr. Murekar Murekar worked at the Regional Medical Research Center in Port Blair on the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and he was awarded the Major General Sahib Singh Soke Award of the Indian Council of Medical Research for his contribution to the field of viral hepatitis amongst the tribal population of Andaman and Nicobar. Dr. Murekar also worked for the World Health Organization Western Pacific Regional Office as a consultant and professional staff member in Papua New Guinea and the Philippines. He has numerous publications in peer-reviewed journals to his credit, and he's also an associate editor of the Journal of BMC Infectious Diseases. But for those of us who know Dr. Manoj, he is our best ally in the city to sort of really partner with every discipline of the medical sciences and health sciences, because epidemiology, as we recognize, is at the heart of it. Thank you, Dr. Manoj, for accepting our invitation. May I now request our Honorable Chancellor to felicitate our chief guest with a ponnadai. And I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor to offer a memento as a token of our appreciation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. May I now request Dr. Leena, ma'am, Associate Dean of Students, Faculty of Medicine, Srihar, to take over.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, and my dear students, I'd like to talk about a few things that our university has added for the benefit of students and faculty members. So, Shri Ramachandra Journal of Health Sciences has reinvented itself in an effort to comply with current global standards of scientific publishing. The journal has tied up with a reputed publishing house, Scientific Scholar, with an intuitive manuscript management system called Editorial Assist. The editorial board is working hard to make the journal a valuable knowledge resource of disciplines across the university and beyond. We request the editor-in-chief, Dr. Lata Ravichandran, and the editor, Dr. Sridevi Padmanabhan, to present the first issue of the new version of the SRJHS journal to our respected Chancellor for release. We also request the associate editors, Dr. Padma Shrikant, Dr. Narasimhan, and Dr. Emmanuel Bhaskar, to join them on the stage. And to present the first copy to our chief guest, Dr. Manoj. I would also like to mention about a few more initiatives for us. Scopus is the largest abstract and citation database of peer-reviewed literature with more than 84 million records from scientific journals, books, and conference proceedings, 18 million author profiles, and 1 lakh institutional profiles. By providing these resources to us, sir, you have literally opened up the skies for systematic literature searching, which forms the core foundation for all research. Scopus is now available for all members of the Srihar fraternity through the Central Library. We have yet another resource that will be of enormous help to all clinicians and health science professionals. We have now subscribed to British Medical Journal Best Practice which is ranked as one of the best clinical decision support tools for health professionals worldwide. Thanks to the efforts of Dean Research and Chief Librarian, we have now bundled this with access to 52 training modules in research methodology and the ability to publish in nearly 80 journals in the BMJ family without any article processing charges. And we would also love to introduce our Student Research Club, which is in addition to the already existing 16 student clubs. By the students who were greatly inspired by the Science Week activities at Srihar. We will very soon plan out activities in association with the Dean Research Office and faculty mentors so that students in Srihar are greatly benefited by the research happenings at Srihar. Now I request our Chancellor Sir to kindly
To add to the benevolence of our Chancellor in giving these resources such as Scopus and BMJ, and with the kind oversight of our CFO, Scopus and BMJ was for faculty, but today, just now, Chancellor Sir has announced a donation of rupees 5 lakhs to the Student Research Club. You were the heroes and heroines of the last week, but you will now be proper actors. You have to sort of really execute the whole motion picture that we have to sort of really shoot and present next year. Thank you, sir, so much for your continued generosity, and we will be sure to utilize it in the most optimal way as possible.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Let me take the privilege of inviting our respected Vice Chancellor, Dr. P.V. Vijayaraghavan, sir, to deliver the special address.
Good afternoon, most respected Chancellor, sir, our chief guest for this valedictory function, Dr. Manoj Murekar, senior faculty members from the university, Dr. Kalpana Balakrishnan, the Dean Research, researchers. I will start off my talk slightly differently. I always say this in many meetings. We all have 6 senses, but the Chancellor or the management has the 7th sense. This is exactly what had happened when Kalpana approached him. When she actually approached, as per the requirement, National Science Day, there is only one day that was expected to commemorate the memories of Sir C.V. Raman, who made this very important statement, science of today is technology of tomorrow. So that is exactly what has happened in these 5-6 days of your effort. And so our Chancellor, as usual, I will always tell him, when you go to the Chancellor, you must be prepared you are catching a tiger by the tail. That is, he would say, you would go with an idea, he will give you 7 ideas, so your work is going to increase. So, but Kalpana being what she is, and her ability to do things, she came and told sir he wanted it to be for 6 days or 1 whole week. And it has been so nice to have thought of 6 to 7 days of activities in the organization. The research ecosystem in this organization, if you look at 1995, a pearl like Dr. Kalpana Balakrishnan was brought into this institution by Professor T.K. Parsardi. She's basically engineering background. What will she do in a medical institution was the question a lot of people asked. But today she is showing what engineering can do in a medical institution. Thank you, Dr. Kalpana, for... And when you talk of extramural grants, the only person worth the name for research was Dr. Kalpana Balakrishnan. But today, I'm so happy to find that 32 people have got extramural grants. Everybody thinks that research, we have to keep putting our investment into that. But today's research actually is self-sufficient. And you can get quite a lot of, by good proposals and good requests to important government organizations, you can get quite a lot of funds. And this is exactly what has happened. Also, I must thank Kalpana and many of the researchers who have joined for the benefit of our Chancellor and the Chief Guest. Today, we have a good lot of researchers into this organization. I can just name a few. Dr. Ganeshan from Medical Oncology, Kumara Manikavel is there, Dr. Vinod is there, Dr. Balaji is there, Natarajan is there. So many people in the last 3 years have all come in, and it was nice of Kalpana to have thought of the idea of the central research facility was probably not allowing them to mix with people. You know, when they are put into one basement of a building and asked to perform differently, they just don't have a chance. So she came up with this idea of many of these faculty members to be associated to appropriate faculties which are already existing. The Faculty of Biomedical Sciences was strengthened. The Faculty of Clinical Research was strengthened. So, of course, Kalpana is, you know, the way she will do, first thing after a proposal, she will come to Mahesh, she will come to me, she will discuss it well in advance. We have spent hours and hours discussing all the pros and cons of what had to be done. And when these things have fructified, it was her brainchild again to create separate verticals under the banner of research. She came up with the idea of creating a separate clinical trials division. And we had a head of clinical trials and clinical research taken up by one of the clinicians, Dr. Ramachandra. You know, one of the best things after we retire, sometimes after the main age of having done practice, everybody wakes up for research. Today, one of the active researchers in this organization, I must tell you, sir, is Professor Tanika, who is already crossed 80, but he is also seeing patients. So this ability to bring the clinician into research is something which we never thought of. We were all clinicians. We really didn't know the spelling of research. But today, this organization has really sensitized, motivated people towards research. And that's how this has grown very well. The 5 days, it has been so meticulously planned. The PhD scholars, they had their day. The students, they had the day for showcasing their interest. And then Roy Santosham and Hardeep Pora. See, people are now thinking about what is it new that I can produce? What is it in medicine that I can produce? Lot of small apps have been developed by students, which actually helps clinical management of patients very, very easy and simple. So I think we must really congratulate. Lot of things were on paper, but today we are seeing actual activity. If you go for NAC, research promotion policy will be there, research development policy will be there, but whether this paper document converted itself into actual implementation was always a concern. Thanks to the intense work over the last 1.5 years, we really thank you for all these activities. Wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. With such wonderful participation, now it's the time to acknowledge the students. Undergraduate student publication was coordinated by our Dean of Students, Dr. Balaji Singh sir, Associate Dean of Students and Assistant Dean of Students. Without much ado, I call upon Dr. Manigandan, Assistant Dean of Students, Faculty of Medicine, followed by Dr. Srikanth, Assistant Dean of Students, Faculty of Pharmacy, to read out the student names to receive the certificates.
I request our Honorable Chief Guest to distribute the certificates.
Good afternoon to one and all. First of all, on behalf of students, I would like to thank our Chancellor for providing such a research facilities in our institution, and also congratulate all the students who have taken up the research facilities, utilized it, and also published in various index journals. Thank you all. Just read out the medical college students who have published in various index journals. Tushendra Lal, he has 8 publications. Riya Kataria, he has 6 publications to accredit. Swati Ganeshan, he has 4 publications. Jaypreeta Jayaraj, he has also 4 publications. Deepika Nair, she has 1 publication. Disha Shetty, she has 1 publication. Shivani Ayyappan, she has 1 publication. Mohammad Asil Zahir Hussain, he has 1 publication. Tom Allen.
Please keep the applause coming, each one.
Ritik, Aishwarya Jaykumar. Now I would call upon dental students, Arnesh Garg, Vaishnavi Devi Janagraj, Kirtana S, Shilpa K, next, I would like to call upon pharmacy students, Pavitra Bharati, 2 publications. Aruna E, Shri, Ravi Ram Narayanan, Rajendra Rohit, Induja Ramesh, Preeti Mullaivendan,
Mahesh.
Next is Mahesh. Preeti Mullaivendan. Magesh. Kavya S, he has 2 publications. Kaushik S, 2 publications. Lingeshwaran, he also has 2 publications. Lakshmi Prabha, Lakshmi Priya, Kirtish Sujan, Kaushikan. Next is biomedical students. Sara, all are undergraduate students, sir. Vijay Harini, Suchita Ganeshan, Vedalakshmi. Next student from Allied Health Sciences, Varshini Veeramani. Kirtika Balakrishnan. Yamini Venkatraman. Surya Kalaj Ganesan. Next is student from BBA, Akshaya. Meera Aishwarya. Syed Muhammad Ali. Next is student from Environmental Health Engineering,
We missed Preeti. Sorry, Preeti. Here is your certificate.
Preeti Mullavendan. Next is student from Environmental Health Engineering, Jnanashri Kalishwari. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Presenting the in absentia students of the UG project publication, sir. From Faculty of Dental Science, Lokesh Sundaram, Vinith Ram Karthikeyan, Akshaya Venkateshan, Annie Selvia, Meena Varshana, Srivatsan Harini, Janani Krishnamachari, Janani K. Abhiyami, Abhinaya, Uttara Suresh, Bhavya R, Swarna Shweta. So, in their absence, I request their mentors, corresponding authors and co-guides to receive the certificates. Please, Dr. Vidya ma'am, Dr. Shuganya, Dr. Madan Kumar, Dr. Divyambika, and Dr. Akila Ganesh, madam. So from Faculty of Pharmacy, we have Jairam Neha Jeshwal. In her absence, I request her corresponding author, Dr. Sabha Manvili madam, to receive the certificate. From Faculty of Biomedical Sciences, Preeti Tyagarajan, Anushri Nagaraj, Snega Pramod, Suchitra Magesh, Sarada S. Bharadwaj, Abhinaya Ramesh, Saumika Goshal, Padmini V. Shekhar, Sanjana Rajgopal, Sherina Jonah Frederick, Disha Shaune, Teshri H. Deepika, Abhinaya Ramesh, Saumika Goshal, Devikim Murlidharan. In their absence, I request Dr. Deepa Parvati, Dr. Sumita, and Miss Lalita to receive the certificates. From Faculty of Medical Sciences, Preeti R, Pragalad R, Lavanya Jayakumar. In their absence, I request Dr. A. N. Vinod and Dr. T. Shiva sir to receive their certificates. From Faculty of Physiotherapy, Shirley Maria Teresa and Ashwati Suresh. In their absence, I request Dr. P. Satya Prabha madam to receive the certificate. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Hardeep Vora, CEO, SRIAC Bairak Bionest Bio Incubator, to announce the hackathon winners.
So, the Sri Ramachandra Innovation Incubation Center had organized a MedTech hackathon, which focused on medical devices, medical diagnostics, and AI or ML software-based applications for medical applications. And the idea behind this hackathon was to identify students and faculty members in Srihar who are interested in innovation and entrepreneurship, and who can be groomed to develop products or services that can have a translational potential and can reach the community at large. I'm delighted to say that with the approval of the management, guidance from the Dean of Research, Dr. Kalpana ma'am, and support from other fellow BioNest working group members, we were able to successfully organize this hackathon in a very short time. We received a total of 54 applications for this hackathon from 11 colleges and universities across the state and from 5 cities. Of these 54 applications, 28 were in the area of medical devices, 18 for artificial intelligence or machine learning software for medical applications, and the remaining 8 in the area of medical diagnostic tests. Also, from these 54 applications, 33 in total were from students and faculty members of Srihar itself, which is a very encouraging sign for all of us. This was also, the 33 applications were also spread across various departments like Department of Human Genetics, Physiotherapy, Nursing, Biomedical Sciences, Dental Faculty, etc. Over 4 preliminary rounds and which were adjudged by 6 external judges, 7 finalists were selected out of these 54 applications, and the finalists made their final presentations in front of another new additional 5 judges. So total 11 judges adjudicated the overall presentations from these hackathon participants, and from these 7, 3 final winners were selected. May I now request our chief guest, Dr. Morega, to kindly distribute the certificates of appreciation to the finalists and the winners of the hackathon. The third prize goes to Team Biophotonics from Amrita Institute of Nanosciences and Molecular Medicine. This carries a prize of 10,000 rupees and certificate of appreciation. They presented their idea on early, accurate and non-invasive cancer diagnosis using Raman spectroscopy technique. The team is led by Mr. Manu Krishnan, a PhD student candidate with guidance from Dr. Girish, Dr. Manzoor and Dr. Shantikumar Nair. Thank you. The second prize goes to Team N Detectors with a prize of 20,000 rupees from Srihar. This is from the Department of Biomedical Sciences, led by Ms. Vijay Harini and Yogalakshmi, Umu Sulaim and Gayatri Venkat Krishnan. They presented their idea on the development of non-invasive screening test for endometriosis urine samples. The first prize for the hackathon, carrying a prize of 50,000 rupees, goes to Team Energetic Electron, Dr. Rajesh Kumar from Srihar again, from the Department of Human Genetics. He presented his idea on cold plasma therapy for wound healing. I would like to point out here that the point difference between the first 2 winners was 0.2 on an average. So that tells you the stiff competition given by the students to the faculty members. And it also talks about the level of competition overall we saw in this hackathon. So the finalists can be celebrated because they received very stiff competition from the other members also. So we would like to felicitate the other finalist teams that presented their work also. Team Blockbusters, led by Ms. Isha Verma and Fida Mansha and Dr. Ram Sabrish. They worked on the idea of creating electronic health records using blockchain technology. Team Ignobilis Terrain, led by Ms. Ankita Saikya and Dr. M.S. Muthu. They presented their work on a mobile app for diagnosis and guidance on management of traumatic tooth injury. Team MMP by Mr. Vedant Baba and Twisha Khanna and Dr. John Davis. They presented their work on using AI technology. Due to exams, they have requested Dr. Manisha to please collect the certificate on their behalf. Okay, I'm sorry. I think Dr. Manisha has not been able to make it. And finally, the last team, Team Tiny Coders, led by Mr. Sairam Aditya and Nithila J. This was from Rajlakshmi Engineering College, Chennai. They presented their idea on early detection of autism in children using image and behavior analysis tools. Except this hackathon, students of Srihar have also participated in national and international competitions and won accolades on behalf of Srihar. We now call upon some of the winners of these competitions. First up, Ms. Rehmatul Bari, a student of clinical nutrition, and Ms. Prerna Gupta from biomedical sciences. They participated in the Idea to Business International Competition in Indonesia. They presented their business idea, Plant Treats, a plant-based meat company that provides safe, nutrient-dense. They won first prize for best potential growth and scale-up business. First runner-up prize for best idea and the second runner-up prize for best potential impact on the environment. Next up, Dr. Kapil Nair. He participated in the Hack for Rare, an international hackathon organized by MIT Hacking Medicine. Here, he too won multiple prizes. May I just list them? First prize in 2 categories for the Peyton Hamartome tumor syndrome for MedChronos and for Rasopathies with application for track pain for predicting pain levels in non-communicative rasopathy patients. He also was awarded John Hopkins Neurofibromatosis Acceleration Program Incubation. He also got the first prize in the MIT Health Equity Hacking Racism Hackathon with his project entitled EpiBlocks, a pregnancy consultation tool for epileptic would-be mothers. And finally, under the able guidance of Dr. Padma Shrikant from the Department of Microbiology, we have 3 recipients of the Bairak Sitare Award grants. First up, Mr. Rishabh Singhi for his project entitled Organic Farming and Herbal Pesticide Usage. Yeah. Dr. Padma. Padma. Yeah. Subramaniam H for the study entitled Evaluation of Anti-Malarial Effectiveness of a Traditional Herbal Concoction. And third to Dr. Mr. Subbalakshmi for the project Dermatitis and Ectoparasite Infestation in Animals.
Thank you, sir. Who else could have been a better and more appropriate person for the closing ceremony? Now it's the time for the much awaited speech. I request our chief guest, Dr. Manoj Murekar, sir, Director, National Epidemiology Institute, ICMR, to address the gathering.
I have yet another bonanza announcement from our Chancellor. All finalists from next year will get, so all the finalists of this year will get a cash prize of 1,000 rupees who participated in the hackathon. Thank you, sir. Next year, we will target to receive 1,000 applications. Nariya bill varum, sir. But that's the goal. We will shoot to achieve 1,000 applications next year. Thank you, Dr. Hardeep. Chancellor was specifically wanting to acknowledge your efforts and your team efforts, Dr. Anand and Dr. Sarojini, for successfully conducting the first ever hackathon. Thank you. Thank you for your things. Invite our chief guest now.
Thank you very much. Respected Chancellor, sir, Vice Chancellor Sir, Dr. Kalpana, Dr. Ganeshan, faculty members of Srihar, and all the students. First of all, I want to thank all the organizers for inviting me for this function. And I feel really I missed a lot by not attending these last 5 days. The last 5 days, you all had a science feast where students, undergrad, postgrad, as well as doctoral students and the faculty members showcase their research activities, their research work. And it was a great motivation, motivating factor for other students or other faculty members. I'm sure there will be a lot of offshoots of the work that you have presented. New ideas will come out of those, through those discussions. I also was really amazed when several undergrad students, I received certificates for publication, for making publications. I made my first publication after I passed my MD, and that was not based on my thesis. But here are the students who are publishing when they are doing their undergrad, and I really congratulate the faculty members, as well as all the support, the enabling environment that has been provided by Honorable Vice Chancellor as well as Vice Chancellor, sir. In fact, VC sir has asked me to talk about what ICMR supports for research programs, and I really don't think there is any need to talk about that, because most of the students have been using or are beneficiaries of different ICMR schemes. But what I also feel is funding is very important for conducting research, no doubt about it. It is one of the prerequisites. But funding alone is not important. What is also required is an enabling research environment, which is there in this institute. In fact, one need to also, I mean, Ramachandra is an extreme example, because I reflect on the days when I did my undergrad and I did my post-graduation. We really didn't have this kind of facilities, this kind of resources, this kind of library infrastructure, this kind of databases that you have access to. So let me briefly talk about, because I'm not going to talk about ICMR research programs. I know you all are aware about that. But let me briefly talk about what is the ICMR, India's research output in terms of biomedical research. And when I was doing some literature search, I came across one paper. Last 2 years, we have been battling COVID-19 pandemic. And there was an interesting paper, basically a scientometric analysis of papers published on COVID-19 in 2020. So scientometric analysis basically is analysis of research output. It measures research output. So in 2020, there were about 45,000 research papers on COVID-19. And the right-hand side graph shows the contribution of each country. And as you can see, if you see the India's contribution, India comes about, I think, 5th number in terms of contribution. But India had contributed less than 5% of research papers in 2020. And the lower graph is even more disturbing, basically. The lower graph talks about the contribution, it talks about countries with the maximum number of articles among 100 most cited articles. And if you see India's performance, maybe less than 1 or less than 10 papers were there from India which were cited most. So I think this is a really eye-opener for all of us. So we need to increase research output, and I'm really happy that the research output, at least in this institute, is really great. But we also need to focus on the second point, the quality output, which will make impact, which will change lives. I think that is very important. And I'm sure in coming years, the publication from Srihar will reflect here, which has made impact and which has changed their lives. Another, I was also looking for publication or some paper wherein they have measured the research outputs of different medical colleges, because India had about 600 plus medical colleges, and and many postgraduate students, and every postgraduate student has to do a thesis or dissertation as a part of his MD or MS. So this particular article summarizes the research output of different medical colleges. And for this analysis, the authors used data for 2005 to 2014. Of course, this is old data. Things might have changed a bit. But if you see, about 60% of medical colleges did not publish a single paper during those 8 years, 9 years. It's really a matter of concern, I would say. Of course, things have changed now with the new guidelines of MCI, where they have made it mandatory that for promotion you need some amount of research or research papers. Another important observation from this paper was there were 25 institutes which accounted for 40% of research output of medical colleges. Only 5% of the institute, basically. So this is another area. Again, Ramachandra is not in this case. They are already producing a lot of papers. But generally, if you see in the country, the research output of medical colleges, there is lot of scope for improvement. And I was just thinking, what are the strengths of medical colleges for research? What is the SWOT? I mean, I just try to do a SWOT analysis of medical research in medical colleges. So I find medical college, they have certain strengths for conducting research, biomedical research. And one most important thing is there is ample of clinical material. Another very important thing which is happening in medical colleges, there is an academic environment. An institute like Srihar, where there are all faculties, all departments come together and work together. I think that is a very good enabling environment that is important strength of medical colleges. There are also institutional mechanism in place in terms of IEC, in terms of review of your research proposal and so on. And very importantly, most medical colleges have a field practice area for doing community-based research. And I'm really happy to note that all these strengths are there with Ramachandra, with Srihar, and research is happening. One also need to look into the weaknesses when we talk about SWOT analysis of research in medical college. And I would like to say most of these weaknesses are not there here, or none of these weaknesses are here. But in many medical colleges, these are the issues and why our output is less and why our quality output is even lower. One is, we would hardly get any person like Chancellor Sir who is so encouraging in conducting research. When most institutes celebrate National Science Day as a one-day function or one-day affair, he requested or he asked Dr. Kalpana to make it a 5-day function where all faculty members, all students presented this. So we really don't find this kind of enabling environment in medical colleges. There is a lot of administrative hierarchy. Again, we need to have good mentors, good research mentors for mentoring young students, which earlier speakers talked about. Senior mentors like Dr. Ganeshan sir and Dr. Kalpana are here, and many more faculty members, very, very experienced faculty members are here. Incentives is another important thing. Now again, for faculty members, you need to publish for your promotion. But what about student? Why should if somebody has decided that he is going to do a clinical practice after his MD, why should he publish basically? So what are the incentives for publication? And again, Chancellor sir has announced some awards. And that is an incentive. The certificates that they are receiving, that is an incentive, which are not there in many medical colleges. Again, I am from a public health background, an epidemiologist. So the partnership with health system is often lacking. medical colleges are often blamed that they do ivory tower research. They don't really talk with health system, don't do research on problem or public health problems or with the system basically, the health system. So that is often lacking. This kind of arrangement with health system is often lacking. So, and last is quality of research. I mean, I mentioned that every PG student has to do a dissertation, but most of the dissertations are sort of copycat research. Somebody has done it 5 years earlier, let us do it same thing this year. So what is the conversion rate of a PG student thesis to a manuscript or to a research paper? Very low in the country. I'm sure journal which Srihar is bringing, I'm sure that will be a place for several PG theses, so that people can refer to the work that has already been done and won't repeat. Last point I want to talk about the training in research methodology. This is again lacking. For many years, good training in research methodology was not available, and there have been several efforts from MCF, from NMC, and also from ICMR to do training in research methods. NIA also conduct an online course in this regard. I'll briefly talk about threats. I mean, clinicians are busy. They have a lot of responsibility, and as they grow in the hierarchy, they are burdened with administrative responsibility. They often don't find time to do research or guide students. So that is another threat for good researcher. In different medical colleges, transfer is another issue. I mean, they are frequently transferred. And one important point which I want to flag here is a predatory journal. I mean, there is an outbreak of predatory journal in India, I would say. There are so many predatory journals. They will publish your paper in 24 hours. You give 5,000 rupees, next day your manuscript will be out, without any peer review, without checking whether it is correct or not. I think this institute is doing wonderful job in terms of research, in terms of generating data or making into publication. But my sincere request to all the researchers here is, please ban these predatory journals. Don't publish any research in any paper in predatory journal. Even MCI, I was looking yesterday into MCI guidelines, which they say that faculty members should publish in certain kind of journal which include PubMed Index or URMED Index. I will advise you that you only go for PubMed Index. I mean, I agree, it takes little time to publish in PubMed Index journal, but my request to all the researchers would be, you try to go for PubMed Index journals. The last is opportunities. A medical college like this, there are a lot of, I mean, where all disciplines are coming together, you can develop a very good proposal rather than working in isolation. There are a lot of scope to network between the departments, with other medical colleges in the state, in the country. And lastly, which basically I wanted to talk about that, is there are several research agencies, or at least few research agencies in the country, which provide opportunities for research, or which promote research activities in the country. And ICMR is one such organization, is oldest research body in country, or I would say even globally. And in ICMR has several schemes for supporting human resource academic and research programs. I'm not going to go into details of it, so don't worry about that. Just few are flagged here. First is fellowship, and I'm sure many of you are aware about this fellowship, especially the studentships, which is offered between second and fourth year of MBBS student. Even BDS, this scheme is also open for BDS students. Very popular scheme among undergrad students, one of the oldest scheme, and about 1,500 awards or fellowships are given. Again, for research, there is no money given for this work, because what is the important thing in the scheme is the research activity should be funded by the medical college, but for student, some amount of money, about 25,000 rupees are given as an incentive for this work. There is another program called MS PhD program, which Ramachandra also is running. This again is to attract MBBS student to do a 5-year course wherein they will get MD PhD program. Again to train more in clinical research. For supporting PG thesis, there is a scheme of ICMR wherein about 50,000 rupees are given, and then again you have to make application, and the best theses are selected for funding. Travel grant is another important thing, because publishing is one thing, but I'm sure many of you would like to present your work in national as well as international conferences. And ICMR has been supporting those investigators whose paper has been accepted in national, at least in international conferences. Next is about Center for Advanced Research, and here in Ramachandra, under Dr. Kalpana, there is a Center for Advanced Research in Environmental Health and Air Pollution. Currently, this scheme is open, and they are asking for several Center for Advanced Research, and this is primarily for in-depth research in a focused area which have been identified. And if some faculty member or senior faculty member feel that they qualify for this award, I think they should certainly apply for this center. Then another scheme is for nurturing clinical scientists, where those who have done their MD and MS, there are some schemes for such candidates. And last, I want to talk about extramural ad hoc projects. I was really happy to note that several students or several faculty members had got extramural grant. Beyond that, there are also there are some disease-specific grants, like we have MERA India for malaria elimination research. Similarly, we have ITRC, the TB research consortium, where funding for TB, you can get funding, and there are specific areas identified for like diagnostics, for vaccines, or implementation research, and so on. So all these details are available in ICMR website, so I'm not going to go into the details. I'm very confident that you will be making use of different schemes available within ICMR. And beyond ICMR, there are several agencies, research agencies, which support funding for research, including DBT, DST. So I'm sure you will get, or you'll access this funding more and more. I wish all of you a very bright and successful research career. And again, thank you very much, Dr. Kalpana, for organizing this event. This was such a wonderful event, and I wish all of you, you and all your team, very best in coming days. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for detailing us with this wonderful presentation. The reward of a thing well done is having done it. I request our respected Dean of Research, Dr. Kalpana Balakrishnan ma'am, who is a source of inspiration for all of us, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Most respected Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, the Honorable Chief Guest, and all the other senior colleagues and students who are still in attendance. It is my proudest privilege to stand before you. I'm so humbled by the love and affection showered on not just me. I have always had that privilege for the last 26 years as a member of the Sri Ramachandra family. But so many of us felt included. Chancellor sir, thank you for making everybody feel so included. As a larger family, the Sri Research family now is a genuine family. And so it is not, and as family members, we don't thank each other, and that's not what, Chancellor sir ever wants. And the family got to talk, got to discuss, and got to strategize what we need. And of course, as the head of our family, we are going to ask you for what we need in order to do better, not, more than, that's the best way we could say thanks to you. And as the head of our institution and as an administrator of our institution, VC sir, and as an administrator of the nation's premier research supporting institution, ICMR, Dr. Manoj sir, we assure on behalf of the entire Sriher Research family that next year we are going to be making a big splash. Chancellor, when I went to him, said, I was very worried, I came to Dr. Mahesh running, எப்படி 5 நாள் பண்ணுவேன் VC sir 5 நாள் எப்படி பண்றது? I said, Chancellor told me, நீ பஸ் டிரைவர் தான், பஸ்ல யாராவது ஏறுவாளா, சாரி, I hope all of you can understand Tamil, பஸ்ல யாராவது ஏறுவாலாம் உன் பொறுப்பு இல்லை, ஓட்டு, யாராவது ஏறினா பார்ப்போம் அப்படின்னா, சாதா அரை டிக்கெட் பஸ் தான் ஆரம்பிச்சோம் சார், அடுத்த வருஷம் ஏசி கோச் கொடுத்துடணும், சரியா? That's because, not because of the driver. டிரைவருக்கு சுமாராக தான் ஓட்ட தெரியும், ஆனால் வந்து கண்டக்டர்ஸ். We had a beautiful consortium of 50 faculty members. Can all the working group members please rise? All of you, yeah. So, they are the ones who conducted. So they are the ones who conducted. Many of them are still in exams and online. So we just want to, acknowledge Dr. TKP sir could not be here. He would have been very thrilled to see. He had family, considerations. He's traveling to Bangalore, and Chancellor sir will always say, TKP sir will never plant a sapling or a tree, because, that means that you have already pre-selected. He will sow the seed. He knows where to get the good seed from. So he sowed the seed of research, and all of us, many of us faculty colleagues whom I share the 26-year history with, are very much indebted to TKP sir for having sowed the seed. For once you sow the seed, of course, the garden bloomed, and Dr. SPT sir was responsible for fencing it and creating systems. Today we would not be standing here without all the systems in place that our beloved SPT sir, along with the initiatives and the encouragement that TKP sir provided to sort of really build this foundation. Today we have a beautiful garden, and of course we don't need an army or anybody to preserve and protect it, but we want a band and a brand to take it to the rest of the world. And that's what is the responsibility you have bestowed upon us. And we really wanted to thank everyone who is present here, to have given us this opportunity to have held this event. And, the number of names are far too many. I beg your kind apologies not to keep anybody waiting any longer. But in particular, the Dean of Students' Office. You made it possible. Office of the 8 Assistant Deans, the Associate Dean, and Dr. Balaji Singh. Without this critical mass of students, sir, adan chonnanga, students enthuse pannunga. They are the heart of they are the heart, beating heart, the pulse of our institution. And the students neenga mobilize panninga, and you students, we owe you a big thanks. I hope all of you are listening. Please pass the message. If you didn't care about our message, we could not be here celebrating. We could not be here, planning for more things. The working group members, my wonderful faculty colleagues, I was telling somebody yesterday, Dr. Shankar is here, எனக்கு வந்து EHE, as a faculty member in EHE, எப்போதும் ஒரு 50 பேர் கூட இருந்த பழக்கம். I was very much afraid to sort of do this. The entire Sriher community adopted me. Thank you very much for, giving this privilege, for really being able to organize this. Many departments, communication team, whether it was Vasant who organized the TV monitors at such short notice, the communication team who kept on making flyers after flyers after flyers, and the video that is there. These are all wonderful, but first and foremost, as host of our most beloved chief guest, Dr. Manoj, thank you so much. I hope you will give us many more opportunities for each one of these students to come and rotate with your labs, rotate with ICMR institutions, rotate and apply and it would be our proud privilege. We know pretty much, just like, I call somebody in the headquarters, they'll say, Kalpana ji, kaise hain? So everybody knows you have treated us like family. So we hope that there will be many, we have planned for many more centers of advanced research. We have been very privileged to be one of yours for the last, 10, 15 years now as a Center for Advanced Research on Environmental Health. But we have promised that we will have at least 5 more centers in the next 5 years. That much material we have, but we promise to you that we will be a flagship program for ICMR as well. Thank you for your presence along with our Chancellor's presence and Vice Chancellor's presence and all the university administrators. And, நாம் எப்போதும் இந்த ரவிசங்கர் சார் கேட்பார், எப்போ பார்த்தாலும் பணத்தை மட்டும் நீங்கள் ரிக்வெஸ்ட் கேட்குறீங்க, என்ன பண்ணுறீங்கன்னு சொல்லுங்கன்னு. சார் கொஞ்சமாக ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்கோம், இனிமே உங்களுக்கு காது கேட்குற அளவுக்கு நாங்கள் எப்போ பார்த்தாலும் கூப்பிட்டுட்டே இருப்போம் உங்களை. நீங்கள் we have so much to showcase. These students and faculty have allowed us so much, privilege to sort of really showcase this. Thank you all very much. Deeply humbled and grateful for all of your presence today.
Thank you, ma'am. There is an end to everything, but we believe there is never an end, but always a beginning. Congratulations to all students and faculties who managed to participate in the Srihar Science Week presentation, and for the rest, hope this would be an inspiration to join us next year. Special mention to Dr. Balaji sir, Faculty of Clinical Research, and Dr. Shiva Subramaniam from Microbiology Department for helping me throughout this event. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our communication team, especially Mr. Ganeshan and Mr. Joe, and video editor Mr. Prabhakar and Mr. Bharat for their time and support, and also Mr. Somasundaram sir, Mr. Mohammad Ali and Mr. Ram for their IT support, and thanks to audiovisual team, Mr. Murali, for the smooth conduction of the program. With you students' committed and unflinching support, we are confident that our university will soar higher, bringing laurels and continue its pattern of success.
I just want our Chancellor to take a moment to just shake hands with my fellow Associate Dean, Dr. Venkatachalam and Dr. Emmanuel Bhaskar, just as a token of solidarity that we have conducted this. Dr. Emmanuel, he kept saying, I'm always at the clinic, so all a handshake is all we are requesting, sir. The 2 deputies that you have given is extraordinarily. All right, we have 3 more deputies, very good. But Dr. Venkatachalam and Dr. Emmanuel Bhaskar, the least visible but the most effective. Dr. Emmanuel, you would have never seen him in his associate dean office, but he is in mind, body and spirit helping everything. Dr. Venkatachalam is always there in the associate dean office. So please come and find them anytime that you can't find me. We are all in this, and all the members of the working group, let's stay together and be available for everyone. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you once again, all the coordinators for their constant support, and all dignitaries, faculties and students for joining us in this grand event. Have a good day. Thank you.